Good evening and salutations, my Y&R fans. Okay, so Lucy continues to act like a brat with Daniel and Heather. And at some point, Sharon comes over. Now, Sharon, here's the thing Sharon has been losing it for a very long time. Okay? Everyone sees it, Nick sees it, they all see it. Hell, even Victor and Nikki sees it when she leaves. So she goes over there to confront Daniel and Heather and pretty much just tell them to have your daughter stay away from us. But she does it. See, here's the thing. I understand where both of them are coming from. Because, she comes in there really angry and just kind of storming and just being maybe a cross between being a Karen and being a bitch. And Heather, she don't like the way that, she's coming at her daughter. And maybe it's just more of a knee jerk reaction, but there's a point where she's like, listen, they talked about the punishment that they gave her, and Sharon was like, okay, well that's a start, but that's more of a slap on the wrist. So they sit there and they look at it, and Heather's like, I'm sorry, what do you want me to do? You want me to sit there and chain up my damn daughter at this point? Or even Daniel after a while was like, yo, listen, we gave her the punishment that we gave her, and that's going to be it. If you don't like it, oh well. Um, and I understand where they're coming from. But I also understand where Sharon's coming from too, because, Heather's like, listen, we don't condone it. She made a mistake. She's a kid. But, this is something that kids do. They make mistakes, and luckily it didn't end horribly, but we're doing the best that we can. With Sharon's that they're hearing that it was a mistake, she's looking at it like, my little girl could have been put in the ground over a mistake. Like, I'm sorry, but like, I can't just sit there and accept that. So I get where Sharon's coming from, but you also have to sit there and remember that Sharon has been off her meds for a hot minute and been lying to her family for weeks, nearly what, maybe 2 months or whatever, that she's been on her meds and she hasn't been, clearly. So they go back and forth. And part of me, where's my water at? 1 second. And I am liking this side of Heather because Heather's not there, she's not just not there taking it. There's a point where Sharon sits there and talks once again about the mistake or the choice that Daniel made. And Heather's like, no. Enough is enough with that. Okay, you're not going to sit there and keep coming at him sideways for a mistake that he made when he was 16 years old. Like, this is ridiculous at this point. He's already been feeling bad about it, and you've been coming at him ever since. This shit ends now. Sharon brings up the fact that she practically called Lucy a stalker. And at that point, I'm telling you right now, it had to look like she wanted to literally whoop her ass. And part of me could not blame her for that. So she's like, stay with my daughter, da 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 da. And then she leaves. Now, Heather's like, maybe we should sit there and go on the trip or whatever because Lucy has been kind of ODing with the whole Heather thing. And Lucy comes out and she starts once again acting like a brat. But after Daniel was like, yo, listen, you can lose the attitude. She kind of realized that she's doing a little bit too much. And, Daniel's like, let's just go out for dinner or whatever. Let's just, we can talk about the trip. Now, Sharon comes back. And Faith was sitting there talking to Nick. See, here's the thing about Nick. This is what Phyllis is worried about. There's a point where Victor and Sharon, Victor and Nick is like, you sure you're okay? Like, pretty much they don't want Nick to start getting back into Sharon and her craziness. And Nick pretty much is like, I'm going to protect everyone. I'm going to make sure everyone's okay. And this, that, and the third. I'm like, well, while you're making sure everyone's okay, who's looking out for you? That's the thing about Nick. Nick will sit there and concentrate on everyone else and everyone else's needs and neglect his own. I'm not a fan of Phyllis, but I understand where she's coming from. But Sharon gets back, and Favor's like, "I want to go out. I want to go out to eat. I want to pinatas or not pinatas, empanadas. I think that's what they're called." And at first, Sharon was like, "I don't really know, whatever." But they convinced her to go. So they go out to dinner, and Sharon still seems like she's just off. Lucy, Heather, and Daniel come in, and they see her. And at first, Heather's like, let's just go somewhere else with her. Let's just do something else. And I was like, no, 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 no. And I didn't like the fact that Heather was like, let's just turn cold and just run away. Like, no, no, no. You're not going to sit there and run her out of town. Oh, there was one point where Heather was like, yo, listen, you're doing too much. Like, your daughter's in college, my daughter's in high school. When school starts, you're not going to see each other anyway. So you coming here with all this bravado and everything like that. You really think this is necessary? But for some odd reason, Danny was like, no, no, no. So, okay, fine. You're not going to let them run you out of the restaurant. I respect it. Why the hell would you feel the need to walk over there and say hi to them when she just literally even both of them was like, yo, listen, she's definitely unhinged. She's been acting unhinged. You wanna walk over there and say hi? So he says hi. It's awkward as shit, right? There's one point where Lucy's like, can I sit there and talk to you? And this is when Sharon just goes batshit crazy. She's like, no, you're not gonna talk to my daughter. And Faith was like, no, it's fine. And she's like, no, sit down. Let's just go. And she just acts pretty much like a goddamn maniac and walks off to the point where Nick is like, yo, listen, I apologize for that. I was like, I think you need to do more than just apologize. I think you need to sit there and check on your crazy ass ex-wife, and make sure that she's taking her goddamn meds. That's what you need to be doing. Um, that was crazy. Kyle, I feel like at this point they are literally doing everything they can to make him come across as so goddamn unlikable. Like they really are. This is something I find really interesting. Right? I look at the parallels. This is another reason why I enjoy watching all the soaps. So Kyle comes across as a prick, an obnoxious, entitled prick, right? But he has a decent side, and Claire brings it out of him. And he reminds me of Spencer. And to be fair, I don't know which actual one I dislike more. I feel like right now I'm really disliking Kyle. Um, Maybe it's because it's just more fresher. But this is something I noticed though. Spencer on General Hospital came across as just so unlikable, just an unbearable, entitled, privileged prick with small dick energy. But he was a lot more tolerable when he was with Trina. And the same thing with Kyle. He comes across as an entitled prick. But he's more bearable when he's with Claire. So they're talking or whatever, and at some point they start talking about his parents, and he's like, listen, because she started making parallels about Jordan and everything like that. And he was like, listen, I would just like my dad to sit there and apologize. For what? Bro, you acted like a jackass. Any other company would have fired your ass. What are you talking about? But he's like, I just want an apology. Jack over here says, comes in, he's like, listen, I need some time with my son for a hot minute. So she leaves, and he starts to apologize. He's like, listen, I apologize. And then he says something along the lines of, I'll sit there and take some responsibility for this. I don't think he needs to take any responsibility personally, but okay, fine. It's like, some responsibility. No, you fired me. You took mom's side. And then he just goes right back into his entitled prick mode. And this is the problem with somebody like Kyle. Okay? Kyle wanted an apology first. Why? Why should you get an apology first? You were the one that was meant to act like an unprofessional dick. But his dad decided to placate towards him. This is part of the reason why he is the way he is. Okay? Because his parents, his family has always sat there and placated to whatever BS that he demands. So this is the way he handles situations like this. So he gets really angry, and at a point, Jack is just like, all right, whatever. He's just kind of, I don't want to say he's done, but it's like he feels like he's doing more harm than good. He's like, you're not even sitting there trying to meet me halfway. Like, I should sit there and just bend over backwards and just constantly bust my ass to try to appease you, and I'm not doing that. Do you not understand the dynamic of our relationship? You're the son, I'm the father. I'm going to apologize to you to a certain extent, but I'm not bowing down to you. That's not how this works. And Diane comes in and he just, he acts like an entitled prick. He leaves and Diane is like, listen, maybe I'm the cause of all this. She's like, am I causing more pain by leaving him or am I causing more pain by coming back? Hinting that she may go away for a little bit. Which is fine. The actress needs a break or whatever. So now Kyle is causing problems in Jack's marriage because, let's just appease prickish Kyle. He goes to the park or whatever with Claire, and pretty much is like, listen, it didn't go well. Anyway, that's all I can think of at this particular moment. But if I forget anything, you know what to do. Come to the live stream tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll sit there and talk about all the shows: General Hospital, Days of Our Lives, Bold and Beautiful, Young and Restless. With that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video.